You said that after the start of the special military operation, we've been building relationships more with our partners in friendly countries. But we used to work there before, I mean, to be honest. So which of our projects with the so-called unfriendly countries have actually fallen through? By the way, we don't have any unfriendly countries. We have unfriendly elites in some countries. But with the people of these countries, I assure you, even though propaganda is at work there, brainwashing them and claiming that we started the war, they forget that they themselves started the war back in 2014, when they began using tanks and aircraft against the civilian population of Donbass. That's when the war began, and we are doing everything we can to end it. But that's not what I'm talking about now. I'm talking about where our main cooperation actually was, with friendly countries. Where did we have our main orders? In the People's Republic of China, in India, and in Bangladesh. That's where. Later, well, a project appeared in Turkey despite the start of the special military operation. And by the way, that's a NATO country. So what have we lost from what we used to have? Only Finland. We're even continuing in Hungary. NATO countries, a NATO country, and European Union countries. We're still working there. That's the very first and most important point. Secondly, what we historically used to do in those particular countries you previously called unfriendly, we are still actively doing there even now. We're still supplying nuclear fuel there and in significant volumes.
We ask you to consider the possibility of partially distributing partial distribution, taking into account the newly introduced electricity capacities in order to favor the commissioning and development of new industrial capacities, specifically in the Kursk region. Thank you.
I think this is quite logical and should be done. I am confident that the Kursk region, just like the areas damaged in other border regions, will be restored. And of course, we will pay attention to the development of small and medium-sized businesses as well as large enterprises. The government is once again preparing a program to restore everything that has been lost and damaged in all border regions, in Kursk, in Bryansk, and in Belgorod. Such a program will be created. You know, we are actively helping many people there who still cannot safely return to their original homes because the entire area is heavily mined and therefore extremely dangerous. Right now, active and significant work is beginning in this particular direction. And of course, we genuinely want to create highly favorable, attractive, and beneficial conditions there for robust economic activity and development. Naturally, we will consider utilizing some of the electrical energy generated from the Kursk nuclear power plant, which is a significant source of power for the region. The nuclear industry remains one of the most important areas of our activity, and these fields are well known to you. Defense capability, science, education, energy, and the field is expanding due to related areas where these unique skills and technologies can be applied. As I have already said, and you know this better than anyone else, healthcare and other fields, materials, science, everything is important. You know, it truly seems to me that the most profoundly significant and impactful achievement is not even tied to a specific industry, although it is undeniable that each and every one of these diverse industries possesses an immense and truly invaluable worth, contributing substantially to our collective progress and well-being. The most profoundly significant achievement indeed is that we have successfully created and meticulously developed a vital sector of knowledge, production, and advanced technology. This sector now serves as one of the fundamental and indispensable cornerstones for the very existence and continued prosperity of the Russian state at this crucial and evolving stage of our national development. And remarkably, it all began with its initial establishment and creation precisely 80 years ago, marking a truly pivotal moment in our history. A tremendous amount of progress has been made in this development and unique results have been achieved.
I must also add that the workers at our Kursk station not only systematically manage the operating capacities, not only maintain the pace of construction, our builders have provided significant assistance directly in strengthening the defense capability of the Kursk region. Yes, right now, Sasha Gerstein and I are working...
I know
about this.
Look, let me show you. They really are doing a great job.
Your dedicated specialists bravely kept on working, even though the intense fighting was very nearby, and some courageous Rosatom employees even fought valiantly, suffering serious and painful injuries. I just spoke with them now. Rosatom holds a profoundly strong, incredibly reliable, and universally highly respected and influential place in all the absolutely vital systems of the Russian state. Thank you very much. As for our relations with the United States, they are at their lowest point since World War II. I've said this many times already, but with the arrival of President Trump, I think a light at the end of the tunnel has finally appeared. And just recently, there was a very good, substantive, and frank meeting in Alaska. Contacts are ongoing at the level of our ministries, agencies, and companies. I truly and sincerely hope that these initial, significant steps that have been carefully taken are just the very beginning of a comprehensive, full-scale, and complete restoration of our important and valuable relations. Well, it's not up to us. It depends primarily on our Western partners in the broadest sense, because the United States, too, is bound by certain obligations within various alliances, including the North Atlantic Bloc. That is why the next steps now depend specifically on the leadership of the United States. But I am confident that the leadership qualities of the current president, President Trump, are a good guarantee that our relations will be restored. And I hope that the pace of our joint work in this forum will be maintained. Back then, there was already talk about how and in what ways it would be possible to travel from Arkhangelsk, from Murmansk, all the way to our eastern borders. Last year, we transported
38 million tons.
Almost 38.7.
37.8.
Well, almost 38 million tons. In other words, a multiple increase. And with climate change, as everyone knows and is already talking about, there is reason to believe, let's put it cautiously, that the volume of transportation could sharply increase, and will be increased due to longer navigation periods. That's it. But even if that doesn't happen, and we have the kind of icebreaker fleet we're planning, after all, we have 8 nuclear icebreakers. No other country in the world has a fleet like this. We're also planning, in the near future, I think, 4 more, right? We're planning 4.
We already have 1 in the water getting ready and 1 on the slipway. The decision on 2 more has pretty much been made, and the 5th one is under construction.
The leader.
The leader class.
Well, I think right now, together with the leader, that's 4. He's already casting a line for another one. All right, never mind. In any case, they're needed. That's absolutely clear. If we manage to keep such a fleet, and we definitely will. We also have, I think, 35 diesel icebreakers, right? So no one else has such a powerful fleet. And the most viable route actually runs through our territorial waters or our exclusive economic zone. So these are our competitive advantages. And of course, it would be simply foolish on our part not to develop this route, since so many countries around the world are interested in using it. Obviously, the significant amount of time it takes to transport valuable cargo from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean, and subsequently to the entire expansive Asia-Pacific region, which, as everyone is well aware, is currently developing at an unprecedented pace previously unheard of by the Western world, is now reduced several times over, leading to considerable efficiencies and benefits. Besides everything else, it should be understood there's no secret here that Russia's national defense capabilities are also, to a large extent, connected to research and the use of these northern latitudes. There's nothing secret about this, and I'll tell you straight. Our strategic nuclear submarines travel under the ice of the Arctic Ocean and disappear from radar. And that is our military advantage. And research, including in this area, is extremely important for us. And finally, besides transport, logistics, and defense capability, aside from those two things, there's a third. The Arctic zone contains enormous, truly vast global reserves of mineral resources. And we've already started working there. We have several companies there, including Novatech, one of our major companies, which operates in the field of natural gas liquefaction. It's working there, and this work is being carried out in cooperation, in partnership with many others, both European partners and partners from Asia. By the way, we're also discussing with our American partners the possibility of working together in this field. And not just in our Arctic zone, but also in Alaska. And, in fact, the technologies we possess today are unique. No one else has them except us. This is of interest to our partners, including those in the United States. You said that after the start of the special military operation, we've been building relationships more with our partners in friendly countries. But we used to work there before. I mean, to be honest. So which of our projects with the so-called unfriendly countries have actually fallen through? By the way, we don't have any unfriendly countries. We have unfriendly elites in some countries. But with the people of these countries, I assure you, even though propaganda is at work there, brainwashing them and claiming that we started the war, they forget that they themselves started the war back in 2014, when they began using tanks and aircraft against the civilian population of Donbass. That's when the war began, and we are doing everything we can to end it. But that's not what I'm talking about now. I'm talking about where our main cooperation actually was, with friendly countries. Where did we have our main orders? In the People's Republic of China, in India, and in Bangladesh. That's where. Later, well, a project appeared in Turkey despite the start of the special military operation. And by the way, that's a NATO country. So what have we lost from what we used to have? Only Finland. We're even continuing in Hungary. NATO countries, a NATO country, and European Union countries. We're still working there. That's the very first and most important point. Secondly, what we historically used to do in those particular countries you previously called unfriendly, we are still actively doing there even now. We're still supplying nuclear fuel there and in significant volumes. We provide services, we do. Collaboration with scientists continues. Look, I came to Gachina, right? You know, there's a center there. Yes, we have work going on. There are specialists from European countries working there. And it's fine, everything's normal. These highly skilled specialists, hailing from various countries with which we have maintained diverse and distinct kinds of diplomatic and historical relations throughout different significant historical stages. They have consistently and continuously worked alongside us, even during the crucial period when the atomic bomb was being developed and refined. Many highly skilled specialists who were actively working in Los Alamos in the United States were also simultaneously cooperating with Russia at precisely the same time. They weren't straightforward spies in the literal sense of the word. They weren't spies at all. They were simply intelligent people. And they understood that in order to protect humanity from the genie they were letting out of the bottle, it was necessary to create a balance. Rosatom is the absolute leader in nuclear energy in the global nuclear energy industry. No other company in the world builds as many facilities in general or as many facilities abroad. I just said this while speaking from the podium. This truly speaks to the exceptional quality of Rosatom's various projects. It speaks to their inherent safety, and it also speaks to their remarkable environmental friendliness and sustainability. And there is another very important and crucial point to consider. We absolutely do not hook our valued partners just to simply build something for them and then subsequently create a market for them, and then, importantly, keep that entire market under our complete and total control all of the time. We create an industry, we train personnel, we create opportunities for equipment production, and we localize it on site. You know, and the specialists from our partner countries understand this and value it highly. And that's precisely why the leadership of Rosatom consistently manages to successfully build such genuinely good, truly friendly, and enduring long-term relationships with their various partners and stakeholders. I'm sure that's how it will be. And those who, so to speak, leave the stage of our cooperation due to political pressure, I'm sure they will come back. And many, I repeat, are working now, and many will return. In order to fully ensure our national sovereignty, to absolutely guarantee our continued existence, and to securely establish our future development, we profoundly need to overcome the significant challenges that the current times present, indeed, the very challenges that the times themselves create. I was just recently talking with your esteemed colleagues, the dedicated Rosatom employees who bravely took an active part in combat operations and fought most heroically, and regrettably, some of them suffered very serious and debilitating injuries. What do I want to say? Every single month, I'm not exaggerating in the slightest, and for the past 6 months for sure, the conditions and methods of conducting armed conflict are continually changing and evolving. If you fall behind even for a few weeks, losses increase sharply.